And there's an expression for that. United we stand, divided we fall. We are being divided systematically. We have people who are very, very good at this. And you add current social media with the algorithms that creates these echo chambers. Whatever your belief system is, you're likely to find that validated via the algorithm. So whatever rabbit hole you go in, it is designed, to divide people and separate them, and then pit them against each other. And when you add to that psychological conditioning that dehumanizes a group of people, you think of them as somehow subhuman, then you're willing to murder, kill, give a free pass to people who do that. And that's where we are with these crazy lunatics who celebrated a public assassination. One other thing, you were asking about services today, and mine actually did. It was very focused on Charlie Kirk. And I suggest to our audience, we focus today on Acts 4. Go read Acts 4. It's spectacular. It was one of the best services I think I've ever been to. It was so timely. It was spectacular. And it did address exactly what's happening, and Charlie specifically. So Acts 4 is where I recommend people go. But as far as what happens next and where we go from here, I mean, just look at all of I said it at the beginning of this show, we've got 18,000 new chapter requests after Erica spoke. And this whole "We Are Charlie." So I think what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to cower in fear, and we're supposed to not know what to do and divide and fracture. And the opposite's happening. You're seeing people come to the church, and a lot of young generation that really, Charlie Kirk resonated with them, who are embracing biblical principles. And you can see it by those numbers. And then people they're not cowering in fear. They're posting all over social media and making T-shirts now that say "We Are Charlie." And to me, again, going back, I like history. I don't know if everybody knows this, but if you meet a Sikh who wears a very large turban on their head, that actually started after Muslim crusades, because the Sikhs were beheaded. And that big giant thing, that big wrap that the Sikhs wear on their head is basically you didn't get this head. We're seeing that in the movement following Charlie Kirk's assassination.
I got you. No, that's great.
And
that's
I think churches did miss a moment today, especially because today is Feast of the Veneration of the Cross. It's the day when we venerate the cross upon which Jesus redeemed us. So it's unfortunate that our priests didn't take that opportunity to make the link. But I'll leave you with this. As tragic as this is, never lose sight of Romans 8:28. The Lord works all things to good for those who are called according to his purpose. And Charlie, even though he wasn't yet Catholic, he was, by reports, considering rejoining Jesus' church. His wife is Catholic. His grandmother was Catholic. His parents were Catholic. Charlie hadn't yet joined the church, but I have no doubt that he is experiencing the beatific vision and right there amongst the martyrs in the church triumphant in heaven.
Well, you got it. Thanks, Timothy. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shane.
With the MAGA Institute. Yeah, very good stuff. Yeah, he's in heaven right now. I have no doubt about that at all. No doubt at all. All right, I want to bring on our next guest. Carol Coleman, are you out there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear her. Can we see Carol?
I can hear you, and I can see you. There you are.
There she is.
I'd recognize you anywhere, even though I've never seen you before. But how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, let me just give
the show before you brought me on. It was so interesting, and I really loved everything that you guys were discussing and talking about. It was great.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Well, we'll give you some applause for that. I don't have the applause, but I've got the confetti. So, Carol, you're out in Monroe County, and you have an interesting election integrity issue that we want to talk about here tonight. So let me just give a little background on what's happening in Monroe County, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here's the background. Last month, it says residents in Monroe County, organized by Coalition of Concerned Voters of Ohio. The Coalition of Concerned Voters of Ohio submitted a petition to the Monroe County Board of Elections placing a local ballot measure on the November ballot coming up this November. So you wanted to do that. The measure aimed to ban the use of electronic voting machines in the county and switch to hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots. Think about that a minute. Okay. Citing concerns over election security and accuracy. And I know you got a few stories about that accuracy. We'll get to that in just a minute. On August 11th, Frank LaRose, Ohio Secretary of State, issued a legal memo, an advisory memo against your group, saying that voting machines, they are not permitted to be repealed or banned once they are implemented, which I don't think makes any sense. I mean, once you put a voting machine somewhere, you can't ever get rid of it. The memo effectively deems such petitions as yours and your groups as invalid. August 21st, petition organizers filed challenges to the board's decision seeking to overturn the rejection and place the measure on the ballot again. So it sounds like you're going to try a second time. Secretary of State Frank LaRose continues to defend his advisory memo, saying that post-election audits show that he has 99.997% accuracy. And that's with the previous elections, and that banning machines could disrupt elections and increase errors. And he doesn't want to go below that 99.9997%. All right, let me bring you on here. So, and you're also running for State Central Committee. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's talk about this election integrity. So what I just said there, was that pretty accurate?
Very accurate.
And so what is the group? What is the group at? Where are you guys at right now with all of this?
So right now, we actually just had a short meeting this evening to kind of discuss our next move forward, our next path forward. And we have a few options, and we are going to meet again just to really, we're going to do a little more research to find out how we can make those options, what is the best option, and how can we make it more, which option gives us the better ability to get this pushed forward. So we're kind of just in limbo right now.
Yeah, when I was looking at your voting machine, I was trying to find out what other counties have your voting machine, because you were saying that there were some inaccuracies that happened with them. But it's really hard to get this information as to what. Now, there's two machines. One is I think you have a screen that you press to vote.
Correct.
And maybe some of you other guys have something like that, and some of you.
We have that in Lake County. It's you've got one machine where you actually select your choice of candidate or issue, and it prints out a paper ballot, and that paper ballot is taken over to a tabulator, and the paper ballot is inserted, and the tabulator counts the vote.
Yeah, the tabulator scans the barcode. And, because all of your selections are now turned into a barcode or a QR code, and that tabulator scans that and reads the information